Hello everyone, it's me, Connor from Seafoam Gaming, back again to give another Eternal Memories episode. I've always wanted to make one as short as the Pac-Man Museum one again because I thought that was perfect blend of shortness but to the point. But I've never been able to do so because I'm so passionate about games I can't help but ramble in my scripts. But I'm going to try and change that today, and it may not be as short, but I want to at least make this a bit experimental because, well, it's a simple game. It's known as Psycho Soldier for the arcade, and why am I doing a retrospective on that? Well, you'll find out, but I'm gonna have to say because of legal reasons and also because, well, I have to, that for the gameplay version of this video, I'm gonna use the SNK 40th Anniversary Collection, and that was given to me for free by NIS America as a review code for my website, the seafoamgaming.com website, and I know it's a pretty good game. But since I'm using gameplay footage from that same copy, I'm gonna have to restate that just to be safe. So yeah, that's the disclaimer out of the way, and that's basically it. So let's get right into why Psycho Soldier is a weird game, but one with lots of charm.
So the first thing you may be asking is, Connor, how the hell did you pick this game as something you have memories of? And the answer is honestly pretty simple. I discovered Psycho Soldier from a video I watched in the middle of 2016, a top 10 list made by Cornshaq Gaming, the guy responsible for also kickstarting my interest in Blast Master. In his countdown video, he was ranking some of the worst NES game endings ever created, almost always attached to a bad game, as per the norm. Most of those games I've heard of before, but one caught my eye, and it was one of his, I think it was his absolute worst NES ending he ranked. Athena, an NES game which he insisted was so bad that he even had the audacity to include an ending to speak of. I shit you not, the game just stays on the screen after you beat it, and that's after slocking through a terrible, horrible game. And yes, thanks to that aforementioned collection I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I play it for myself, and neither the arcade or NES version are anywhere close to good. Needless to say, new games I hear about make me search them up on Google out of curiosity, and find some more articles on the game. I learned there was an arcade game originally, and it had a sequel in the form of a side-scrolling shooter known as Psycho Soldier, which was released in 1988 and had full-blown voice acting with a song in the background. And it actually was considerably much better than Athena. So when I got my PS3 a few months later, I bought the PS Mini version out of curiosity, since I bought Ikari Warriors on my Vita TV the same way, and figured why not bring it to the big screen. So that's where my memories of the game kick in. Or rather, my memories of the playthroughs I did. See, I actually recorded this game the very first time I played it. It was during a stream back in 2016, and you can see this playthrough in the background right now. This was with that really bad capture device I made a video on though, so it doesn't look good, but at least it's not in bad motion as some other games I captured with it. I'll use the SNK 40th edition to show higher quality gameplay footage when applicable. So like a lot of arcade games from this time period, Psycho Soldier doesn't even have an intro or story at all, at least from first glance. The story is all in the arcade flyers and manuals, which revolve around a strange haven of creatures and aliens that have been hiding underneath the Earth's surface for years on end, finding their way out into the real world. Athena and her friend Kenzo set out to destroy the aliens, and that's the entire plot. Fairly basic arcade summary, and the stages don't even hint towards any plot at all like some other arcade games until the very end of the game. So I guess it's time to discuss the gameplay. Athena's the only character player 1 can choose, because player 2 gets Kenzo. Both characters play the same however. You move automatically from left to right, and you jump by pressing up on the joystick and go down by pressing down the joystick. You fire normal shots with the shot button and use bombs with the bomb button to kill enemies in the path, and you break walls. Breaking walls will let you find electrical beams that will charge you up and increase the energy meter, making both your weapons stronger, or you may find a skull beam that will drain your energy. If you get enough energy and break one of those big eggs, you can become a phoenix and murder everything in sight, otherwise they'll explode into caterpillars and you'll probably die because it's usually a trap at that point when you don't have enough energy. In fact, dying is something you'll probably need to expect in this game, as Psycho Soldier is pure evil in difficulty. But it's not because of the usual traits of clever enemy placement or tricky level design that's hellish to go through. Rather, it's simply inevitable because the enemies pop out of nowhere and ambush you at every possible opportunity. With the stages being so similar in progression to the point there's little to talk about in terms of each stage, because you just go from city to water to volcano and they all look the same, There had to be some way for the player to die, and thus being ambushed was the developer's solution to just that. For a high score chaser such as myself, however, I find this to be a really bad design choice considering how easy it is to lose all the power-ups and upgrades, and the game wants you to continue endlessly, even on the easiest difficulty with the dip switches. Yet despite all those quirks, I can't help but think of this game as a quirky, unique entry in the shooting genre. Yeah, it's a Song clone if you want to be technical, and it sucks as a high score game. It's also mediocre and doesn't even have much variety, but it's noteworthy for several interesting reasons, and it managed to engage me enough to play through to the end on that first playthrough at least, and a couple of playthroughs afterwards. Anyone familiar with this game, or at least have heard of it before, probably wondered why I haven't mentioned this upcoming tidbit earlier, save for a brief mention passing, and I was saving it for now. The sole reason I even bought this game and had interest to begin with was from how it was one of the first video games with the vocal song, as I mentioned earlier, in compressed glory. But little did I know that the US version has a unique dub of this background theme, making it really sound stupid. Oh well, at least SNK40 allows for toggling to the Japanese theme song, with the Japanese version, and the cassette tape that came with that awful Athena game on the Famicom I mentioned earlier include a high quality version of that stage theme, which is really good. It includes a few tracks from the game, and even includes a vocal version of the ending theme, which is a sign I should probably talk about the ending now, shouldn't I? Well, spoiler alert for an old game, the end of the game is because of aliens, and you make it to an alien's lair, and this was with pretty much right out of Contra. Everything around you was part of an alien that was beating stuff for some reason. You even go as far as to shoot a big face with teeth that these games seemed obsessed with for some reason. Seriously, why is this enemy design the one that all these developers like to whip off? Anyhow, after you defeat the alien face and go a bit further and fight this weird giant monster thing, you walk through him as if nothing happens and somehow make it back to the surface, performing a concert as if nothing happened for a random enemy that survived the chaos and slaughter. The whole game took me 30 minutes to beat when I first played it, and I didn't really get impressed by the gameplay back then. Same now, but at least I'm more confident in beating it, and I at least can have fun with my friends for the ride. Just be sure if you have the PS3 version not to use that for multiplayer, cause it doesn't even have multiplayer to begin with. Why? I don't know.
Bye-bye.
And there you go, with the weird alien threats like erased and everyone saves, I guess. The game basically ends here, and there's really nothing else to speak about. I already mentioned how weird it was, I mentioned it being on the collection, but there's never been a sequel or any sort of weird spin-off to outside the main characters being in King of Fighters games. I don't really care for those much because they're just, well, SNK fighters, and I think they were some of the best SNKs made, especially 2000. That's my favorite of the King of Fighters series. But I have to be honest, outside KOF and late Fatal Fury games, most of SNK's fighting games in Neo Geo just feel like crappy Street Fighter ripoffs. Especially World Heroes and Ninja Masters, oh god. But those are outside that. Yeah, Psycho Soldier was never really made to a sequel, and it's never re-released until the PS Mini version I mentioned earlier in the episode, and it never got re-released again until the 40th Anniversary Collection. So you can at least play it now, and since the 40th Anniversary Collection is hitting the PS4 soon, more people can play this weird game if they so please. Just buy SNK 40 for some other than Psycho Soldier because it's really a bad reason to buy it just for that game alone. It's really short and it really isn't a good high score chaser. But at least it's better than Athena. Maybe I'll cover that sometime. There was apparently a Famicom version planned, but they didn't get past the planning stages, so they pretty much just stopped it there. Anyhow, that'll do for this hopefully short episode of Eternal Memories to maybe give a shorter retrospective into a game I found very quirky. Next time, I'll cover the worst games and the best games of 2018. Yeah, it's almost February, and it's gonna be February when those episodes will probably out, but better late than never, and hey, I still like to count down my favorite games. Until next time, bye!